you know, you look at the prices of uniforms today. All right, and I'm gonna put up a picture of the cotton index, you know, price index. I'm put up a copy of a picture of the oil, you know, price per barrel that we pay, not that the world pays, because you know the rest of the world pretty much hates us. But, well, you know, if you're getting poly cotton ripstop, it is a more durable fabric, and it has the darker color scheme that'll stay darker longer. As long as you don't dry it on high, we'll put that stuff in the dryer. You don't want to do that. If you're buying nylon cotton material, you're buying a nylon cotton uniform, you're going to pay a lot for it. You know, now versus before, and even though the cotton, you know, the price index isn't as high as it once was, the industry can't bank on the price that it is now. The industry has to bank on where the price was at its highest. So you have to understand that, you know, it's not as easy for the manufacturers putting the fabric or putting the uniforms together to say, oh, well, this is how much we're paying for it today, so we'll drop our prices down. Like I said, they have to look at it where it was as highest, knowing that it could spike up to that again. So if cotton more than doubled, and, you know, nylon, so we're talking about nylon cotton, right? NYCO, which everybody likes. Well, nylon's a petroleum product. So if that's, depending on our price we pay for a barrel of oil, and then you got cotton, put them together, you know, web gear. Well, web gear is mostly nylon, and nylon is a petroleum product. I'll go back to that. So you see where I'm going with this. It has nothing to do with, like, I know the people at True Spec, you know, the people at Proper, you know, wherever, you know, they would love to give you a uniform for $2. If they could, I'm guaranteed they'd sell you one for $5 if they could. But they can't, because it costs too much. So you know, for everybody who's frustrated with the industry, I want to kind of lay some of those frustrations to rest, you know, by educating you on, you know, part of what dictates the industry, and it's not their fault. Like I said, if it's web gear, it's nylon, it's petroleum. If it's nylon cotton uniforms, petroleum cotton. If it's, you know, poly cotton twill, you know, it's a cheap material. It's like 65-35. You see poly cotton twill. You'll see poly cotton ripstop, which, like I said, is the most durable uniform. It's a little hotter, but you know, they are more durable. You know, NYCO, which everybody likes, the nylon cotton, some like 50-50, some like 65-35. You know, blend of that. Any way you cut it, any way you do it, you know, prices are skyrocketing, and, you know, like I said, don't blame the manufacturers. Here's another thing too about, you know, people blaming people, right? Everybody says like Crye Precision. Crye wants to charge me out the butt. They want to, you know, they want my money. They're trying to rob me, this and that. And, like, you know, I said, they don't really have a lot to do with setting the prices. You know, I mean, they make some of the best products that are out there. You know, Multicam, their pattern, when Multicam came out was, you know, when they started getting big was right when cotton was skyrocketing, right when, you know, the price of a barrel of oil was, you know, really getting ridiculous. And we had that oil spill. You know, a lot of people don't really realize that those things affect the prices of everything. Then ATAX came along. You got ATAX AU, which is the desert, and you got ATAX FG, which is the new green pattern. And you know, everybody's like, oh, ATAX is trying to rob me. ATAX, the people who make the patterns have nothing to do with how much the licensees you know, charge for each of the items. I mean, if the ATAX office or the, you know, if it's Crye, Multicam, or whoever, you know, they sell the fabric. They don't make the products with them. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, all they did was develop the pattern. You know, there's somebody that makes the fabric. They sell the fabric to the people who make the uniforms or make the web gear, and then they set their own prices. And then, you know, they have MAP prices, which a lot of people don't understand that in this industry there's such a thing as a MAP price. And the MAP price is what the developer says, you know, you can't sell my product for any less than this, because if you do, it'll devaluate depreciate the value of my product. All right, it'll depreciate the value of my product. That's fair enough. I mean, I have my own line of gear. I sell tons of this stuff. I have MAP prices. I mean, why wouldn't I? You know, but it's not really that big of a deal. Then you got your MSRP, you know, it's a suggested retail price, which, you know, some people play with, some people won't. Well, then the resellers, you know, they would probably love to give you everything for $5, but they can't, because you got to deal with MAP prices. So if they can't sell it lower than a certain price, or they'll get sued if they do, if somebody finds out, then it's dictated by, the people actually manufacturing the product. Whose prices are, done by the people who make the fabric, whose prices are directly influenced by how much you pay for cotton, how much you pay for oil. You notice across the industry is pretty flat. Everything's pretty much, fairly in the middle as far as quality. Everything's pretty evenly priced, and it's good for it to stay competitive. Now, what I try to do though is to try to encourage, some of the developers, encourage some of the resellers to, put things on sale. We'll try to work with you guys a little bit. Do unit sale. If you guys are in a unit, I'm an excellent person to know. If you guys are in a law enforcement agency, I'm an excellent person to know. People will look at some of the stuff I have and like ask me how much I, pay for. I'm like, I don't pay for it. I actually get paid to take it and do the reviews and stuff on it.